What's up, Wargamers? Welcome to the meditations after a wild and woolly game of Star Wars Shatterpoint that ended up for the Galactic. I'm doing it again.
Galactic
the Separatists. The Galactic Separatists. There we go. The Galactic Separatists. In a very nail-biting game. There was quite a few moments where I definitely did not think I was going to come out with it. But I got to say, Dooku just comes in like a boss.
Dooku is ridiculously good. He's so powerful.
Dooku's ridiculously good, and you know what? I gotta hand it to the B1 battle droids this game.
Yeah,
they were just a nuisance.
They were.
For whatever reason, at the end of the game, you just couldn't get that last little bit of damage into them.
No, I couldn't deal anything to them, and they were also just kind of doing their job. You know, they stole that point over from Kenobi. They'd been stealing points and tying me up here for the longest time. They did their job this game for sure.
They absolutely did their job this game, and. Oh man, violent game. You know what? I'm actually going to say I'm super impressed that Dooku went into Vader the way he did.
He pretty much one-tapped him both times he went into him. I mean, usually he had a bit of damage on him already, but
I was not anticipating that at all. Like, that surprised me beyond belief. Like,
he hit like an absolute truck.
Yeah, and like Dooku continues to really impress me in this game. Like, he just seems to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely adore and love him, and I feel like he is my attrition piece.
Yeah.
Right? Like, every time I've run Dooku, I feel like I've actually gotten really good work out of him, which I really like. Other parts in this game, I mean, people probably heard it. There was some salt going on with Grievous and the Grand Inquisitor over here.
Yep.
There was a little bit of salt. I'm a big enough man to admit that I was feeling a little salty at parts in this game because I've had one hell of a losing streak going on.
Oh, for sure.
So finally getting a win, I'm feeling a little invigorated. You guys get more. You guys get some more Shatterpoint content, okay? if I was losing, I was seriously reconsidering, but no, you're gonna get some more. And honestly, like, you know, it's losing the game to a good player means like that's not a bad thing at all. And Jason, you are a good player at this. Like, it's I want to make that very clear. I don't feel it's like, well, yeah, I'm losing to some scrub. No, that's not the case. You've seemed to grok this game quite well, and just kind of revel and kicking my teeth in. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a streak, and it's good to see that end because obviously that just makes more entertaining content as it is too.
I think so, and you know what? I do think that this was a good game, one way or the other. I felt like you taking struggle number 1. And me really fighting hard to come back for Struggle 2 and Struggle 3. Because you actually questioned my choice on Struggle number 2 as to whether or not I chose the right...
Yeah, I was definitely leaning towards the other choice. And, I mean, it ended up working out for you either way, so good for that.
So something I've been finding here, I think Vader, for as tough as he is, I don't think he likes to be on his own.
He really doesn't like being punched. I've realized, like, he has riposte, which is solid, and like 12 health goes a long way, but his defensive conversions are terrible. He at most is throwing 6 dice. He doesn't have any crazy tech like Dooku does.
He just kind of takes the damage.
He does, and he goes down. And like Sith Lord Strikes Back sounds great on paper, but it's still only a 5 dice attack. He's not getting that far into his tree with most of the time.
Now, I will say that I still really like Vader's character.
I do still think he's a fun, solid piece. When he decides to go into something, he kills them.
Yeah, not like broken old Kenobi there.
Old Ben. For a moment he felt so good, and then he just kind of didn't end up actually doing much this game.
But I think that's actually a problem with Ben, because like it's one of those things where just you don't go into him.
Yeah.
Right? You just don't put attacks into him.
Which means he never gets Last Stand of the Jedi online either.
Yeah, because Mind Trick is it's too good.
Yep.
The fact that it's just you target a friend, like an allied character that's being targeted within range 3.
Yep.
Is kind of bonkers. Like, I feel like it should be the attacking character has to be within range 3.
Right.
Because at least then you can maybe go into him with some ranged attacks, right?
Yep.
But as it is, there's no reason to ever go into him.
No, for sure. He's a piece that I probably am misplaying. I probably should be keeping him a little bit more central, surrounded by allies, so that way I can make more use of that.
In all fairness, you did that for a lot of the game.
For a bit he was there, but even when he was there, I was always just there to 3 whenever you went into anyone. Which was a bit of a misplay on my part. I definitely could have done a little better with him there, but just keeping him near the action, I think, would have been a big deal.
Yeah, and I think a big part of this equation, though, is that we are still learning the games ourselves, right?
For sure.
I mean, I've played more games than you by virtue of the fact that I've been running a bunch of demos.
Yep.
At our local game store, whereas I think all your games have been with me
almost
right now.
Exclusively.
Yeah. So I mean, you're trained on how to beat me into submission in this particular case.
I'm gonna go to an actual like event or something, and I'm just gonna get absolutely destroyed.
It's like, that's not what Leland does.
Yeah, hold up. No, you're not supposed to do
What do
that.
you mean you're a good player? So yeah, like it's interesting. We're still learning a lot of the ins and outs and the quirks, and I think with every game we're playing, we are getting better at catching our triggers. We're getting better at looking at how movement really impacts the game.
We're getting worse at remembering to roll the defense die before every
What's up with that?
Shatterpoint pull, because we were really good at that the first few games.
Yeah. What? No, we weren't. We were pretty bad. we have gotten worse though. Like we have comments that prove that we were not good at that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. It's great to see how everything's going on here. Django, man. Django in this game was boss. Like, how much damage was I able to throw out just by doing the not
took
so
the clones
fast?
down so early in the game. He denied me a full activation, which was huge.
Massive.
I mean, it was the first struggle, and I ended up taking that anyways, so clearly not that bad. But
it slowed you down a little bit.
Slowed me down a lot. Didn't let me get some nice early attrition in that I would have wanted to do with the clones. And that ended up mattering in the long run as well, even beyond that, because this, at the end of the day, was kind of an attrition list. It required on getting some wounds out there. It required on doing a lot of things like that I didn't get to do as early as I wanted to.
Yeah, no, it was definitely... And I think Django actually only had one bad action. Yeah. And that was his last not so fast against the fifth brother.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like,
and honestly, considering how well he'd been doing with those until then, I think it was just about time.
Yeah. Like 2-3 damage a pop and all this sort of stuff, taking down the 5-0 first. Like, Django is awesome. Django does great work. He scored points a lot of the game for me as well. Like,
he's fantastic. I think Django definitely earned his keep here. I mean, that's kind of at the end of the day, looking at your list, I think everyone with maybe an exception of Grievous kind of earned their keep today. And even Grievous, I don't think did necessarily poorly. He still took out Reva like it was nothing.
It's because he flubbed on one or two attacks.
Yeah,
right?
Like he had a couple attacks that didn't quite go his way. And then there was that whole situation on the bridge where he couldn't get up there because it was just clogged with models.
Yeah, but that's not Grievous's fault. Like it's just you blocked me out, which was good, and I kind of blocked myself out by moving the droids.
The droids were in a bad position for that,
which was kind of dumb of me. And that's the thing. Like that's us still getting the feel for movement and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
Because like I think my brain is still kind of like in heavy MCP mode.
Yep.
And I'm making a lot of decisions based on that, and it doesn't necessarily translate into the smartest of decisions. Like I'm sure there are better players watching these who are just kind of like screaming in rage whenever I make a movement. And my defense on that one is I'm making movements that I think are fun.
Yeah.
If they're good, cool. If they're not, they're fun. But Dooku and the Magno Guard, man, I love them. Right. I will say this. I am very glad that you got better work out of the Grand Inquisitor than I did.
Yeah, Grand Inquisitor actually seemed to do all right here. He feels a little awkward. I feel like he's missing something. I used to think Secrets Uncovered was a really, really good ability, and I'm a little less on that train now.
So I'm just going to gloat a little bit on this one, because like when it first came out, I was the one who was saying, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it's that great. And frankly, I don't think we've used it on camera yet.
I never really had a good chance to, like, there was one turn where I said if I was in range, I would have hit that one, but I was way the heck over here.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Secrets Uncovered is, like, if you gave him a force push or something instead, I think he's infinitely better.
Yeah, like, it's fine, and there's going to be use for it. The problem is when it does do something, it is going to absolutely be worth that 2 force cost.
Yeah, the odd time when it will actually matter, it's going to matter a lot. You're right, and I think that's important and valuable. But I felt like most of the actual text on his card I didn't use. I used his immediate ability, and I used his identity ability. But I didn't actually use either of his other things at all. And part of that is because you didn't have very many Force users.
No, that is true. I had 1 Force user, and I had 1 General Grievous, who's like a Force user, but not.
Yep. Which was another struggle for me this game, was like, my best thing was going into Force users, and you only had 1.
Yep. And then I had super broken Kalani.
Yep. And yeah, Kalani is just ridiculous.
Stupid. Kalani is so dumb.
Kalani is beyond broken. I got to play him recently, and he is... He's just disgusting.
I don't know if Kalani is broken per se, but I think he turns on so much, like with the right list, right? And that's the problematic part of Kalani.
No, with when he's in a list of almost entirely droids, he just does so much work.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. So
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have Reva to discuss.
Reva and the 501st, both of them, like, I was optimistic about Reva jumping into this. I thought she was going to be pretty decent. I don't know what it is. She's missing anything meaningful. I mean, the fact that Call the Hunt is like, it requires a force. It's not even like an immediate ability or anything like that.
Yeah, you know what? If Call the Hunt was a tactical ability.
That's the word, tactical.
Yeah, if it was a tactical ability, it'd feel a lot better.
Yeah. The other one is your fear betrays you. You're not sitting on more than one or two conditions very often. Like, and even when you are, most of the time those aren't the characters that I'm really trying to hit because I've already kind of conditioned them down.
Well, and also, let's be honest, you're never going to remove expose for it, right?
Exactly. It's like 99% of the time it is not worth removing expose.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, between expose is 30% or 33% of the things that can pop up on a defensive die. So just get rid of that. So all of a sudden, it's only a third of the defensive dice results actually matter. So yeah, no, Reva, I don't know. Maybe there's some secret sauce to Reva that we're missing.
The other thing about her is she just doesn't have good dice either to make up for it. Like, her conversion chart's not very impressive. Her attack is solid with 7 dice, but her actual tree isn't that impressive either. So I don't know what she's kind of supposed to be doing. And maybe, again, someone's figured it out and we haven't. But
yeah, and again, I mean, this is just month 2, right?
Yeah.
There's so many more things that are going to be coming out. So we will see what happens as we go into it. But yeah, I think we've talked enough about this game. Jason, good game as always, man.
Yes.
You make me a better player, so thank you for that. And yeah, for everyone else watching, thank you so much for watching. Hit up patreon.com/AegisBrand $1 a month keeps the lights on, keeps us doing this. And of course, if you want to learn more about Shatterpoint, hit up the bit link in the description below. We will see you next time. Happy wargaming.